We're delighted to have Congressman Tim Huelskamp from Kansas come share another hero fighting for religious freedom. It's an honor and blessing for me to be here. I know Congressman for almost 25 years. So let's give a warm welcome to Congressman Huelskamp.
Thank you, Pastor. If we've known each other for 25 years, we must have done some things together and that do get attention. So yes. Thank you. And you know, we stand not far from the state of Maryland, and that brings to mind some real battles for religious liberty in the history of this country. And in the state of Maryland was actually at the forefront of the history of our nation. The battles there that a colony that was founded with religious liberty and tolerance was lost in later years, in which Roman Catholics were forbidden to hold office, were forbidden to participate fully in the political system, and it took some real battles. And the history of the country has not always been that we've had religious liberty. But we have developed that theme. We have developed that tradition because it is a basic human right, a fundamental right. And it is so important that our founders said not only must it be in the Constitution, it must be in the First Amendment. It must be the first part of the First Amendment, because at the heart of America is the freedom to worship God. That is the heart. That is not something you can take away, Mr. President. Madam former Secretary, I like saying that. I really do. And as a Kansan, I must admit, I must apologize for our former secretary. But this has been the trend of anti-Catholic fervor coming out of this administration. And it must stop.
Yes.
It cannot continue. Just because of what you believe, you shouldn't have to pay a tax to Washington. Many of the immigrants to this country at the very beginning and later on, they came to escape religious persecution. But today in America, if you want to live what you believe outside of the church on Sunday for the other 167 hours of the week, you will be forced to pay a fine because of this administration. How could any court in the land uphold this direct attack on religious liberty? A tax on religion if you want to believe and want to live out your faith. I represent a district in Kansas, which is literally in the heart of this nation. And if you go to a little town in the heart of my district called Lebanon, Kansas, and you go 2 miles north, you take a left off that main highway and go down an even smaller highway in Kansas and go about 2 miles. You'll come to something that is literally the geographic center of this country. And let me tell you, I'd encourage you to visit there, because it is not a First Amendment free zone. It is a First Amendment alive zone, because at the very geographical center, at the very heart of this country, there's a little chapel. Ladies and gentlemen, that's at the heart of America, is our reliance and our faith in God. And when you propose regulations and laws that attack the very heart of this nation, you will destroy America as we know it. I encourage this court to understand and recognize the value at the heart of America, and that's our faith in God. This mandate coming from this administration needs to be reversed, needs to push back, and the tremendous value of religious liberty must win out. I thank the Priests for Life for pursuing this case. I thank the hundreds and hundreds of other litigants in the system that said they've had enough, that are standing up. And we're talking tens of millions of Americans are under attack here. So thank you for your efforts. Thank you for the many founders, folks like Charles Carroll of Carrollton. Story is that he was the one Roman Catholic signer of the Declaration of Independence. There were murmurs when he signed the Declaration. Murmurs like, you know what, he didn't put his life on the line, because there are a lot of Charles Carrolls in that area. The story was he went back in and said Charles Carroll of Carrollton, because he wanted the king to know he was standing for what was right. Let us stand for what is right today. Let's do the same, justices. That's your responsibility. Thank you, and God bless you.